let me ask all of us here, is this how you respond to conflict? Is this how I respond to conflict? When others attack you, as they do, when others injure you, is this how we respond? Well, how did Stephen do this? What was it that was in Stephen that enabled him to respond to conflict in this way? Let me suggest 3 things for us. First of all, he knew that God was for him. He knew that God was for him. Remember, he saw Jesus standing before him to encourage him. Just like that great cloud of witnesses that we read about in Hebrews 12, which is an encouragement to us. Well, here's God himself in Jesus standing before him to encourage him. And I would submit to all of us that if we lash out against those who hurt us, then we've forgotten that Jesus stood condemned in our place on Calvary. And we have forgotten that he stands now in glory, interceding for us, saving our spot, as it were, in heaven. Stephen knew that God was for him. And if God is for us, then we can have a tremendous perseverance in the face of suffering. So Stephen knew that God was for him. Secondly, he knew that God was caring for him. You know, one of the reasons we lash out and strike back is we forget that God is caring for us in the middle of our trials. But Stephen knew it. He had entrusted his spirit to God in the midst of when he's getting stoned. He entrusted his spirit to God, and he did so not as a frantic deathbed Hail Mary, we'll see if this works kind of thing, but he did it with a firm commitment, a firm confidence. He knew that the same God to whom he was now entrusting his soul at death had also commanded his soul in life. He knew that God cared for him, and so he was able to respond with heavenly grace in the face of conflict. If God is caring for us, then we can have a tremendous peace in the face of adversity. Thirdly, Stephen knew the dreadful consequences of sin. He was able to be as gracious as he was here because he knew the dreadful consequences of sin. So much so that he prayed with his last energy that God would stay his hand from the punishment that he could rightly bring upon those wicked men right then and right there. Stephen knew that these men had it coming. And that's why he didn't have to be vindictive. He knew that God was going to deal with these folks. Do people sin against you? Your husband? Your wife? Your boss? Your kids? Your friends? Church members? Well, they need our pity. They need our prayers, not our hostility. Especially when unbelievers sin against us. They need our prayers for their conversion because they are sinners in the hands of an angry God, as Jonathan Edwards said. If we know the dreadful consequences of sin, we can demonstrate a tremendous pity in the face of adversity. I believe it's because Stephen knew that God was for him. He knew that God was caring for him, and he knew the dreadful consequences of sin that he was able to behave as he did. He knew, as Paul writes in Romans 8, verse 18, that the sufferings of this present life are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us.